guys, welcome back to Ashark Books. So the month of July is my 1-year anniversary for starting this channel. I think the actual date is a little bit earlier in July, but I'm just gonna use the month of July as like the anniversary. So I've had my channel for a year now, and I kind of thought it'd be fun to just do a video kind of about some of the things I've learned and maybe some like little tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way to hopefully help someone out there. I am by no means saying that I am like the end all be all or that my videos are perfect or that I know everything, because I still have so much room to grow and just learn more. But I love watching these before I started a channel, just to kind of get like some advice. And I also really love watching them now because they just give you kind of support, again, advice, but also just like that yes, I'm gonna do this. I know a couple people have done this recently. I know Bree from Bree Hill did one. I'm pretty sure Avery from Avery Loves Books did one. There's a lot of people out there who've done them that are absolutely wonderful. And I just thought I'd add my like 2 cents in and kind of say what I've learned. So my first tip is a kind of simple one, and that's be yourself. I know that's easier said than done, and I think we all struggle with that, and I definitely do, but especially on Booktube and when creating a channel, I think it's really important to stick to your guns as best you can and try and read what you want. That's like the key thing there, is to read what you want, you know? I think everyone, myself especially, can kind of get stuck in this rabbit hole of, oh, everyone else is reading this book, I must need to read it, and then you pick it up and then you're not really enjoying it, and then, I mean, what does that do? It doesn't do any good. So I just think as much as you can, try to read what you want. You guys know that my channel is a lot of romance because I love reading romance. So it's primarily, I'd say, a romance channel, but of course it has YA and like fantasy and other genres mixed in because it's what I'm reading. You know, I feel like it's hard to pigeonhole yourself into one specific genre, at least for me, because I read a little of everything, but I think I had to come to terms with the fact that I like reading romance, and so that's what I was going to talk about on this channel primarily. And I know, and I had to also kind of realize that because I'm not talking about like YA or maybe some of the more popular kind of topics, that my channel might be a little bit smaller and it might grow a little bit slower, and that's okay. You know, I think I kind of had to come to terms with that, but by sticking to what I really like, I'm just enjoying it so much more than I feel like at the beginning I was a little bit trying to kind of read some of those popular books, and it just didn't go very well. I mean, I read them and they were okay, but I felt like I was just pushing myself to read things that I didn't really want to be reading. So that is my first tip. So number 2 that I kind of learned is don't let technology kind of stop you. So one of the main reasons that I didn't create this channel earlier than I did is because I am not a technologically savvy person whatsoever, and I was just really afraid that I wouldn't have the skill or kind of the items, you know, the technology to kind of have a good channel. And I don't think it's necessary. After doing this for a while, after talking with other booktubers, I don't think it's necessary to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on perfect equipment. I think if you have an iPhone or an Android or some kind of smartphone or a camera of any kind, you have a window and you have something to film in front of, I think you're good to go. I mean, obviously, as you go and you get more invested, I think it's great to buy things. You know, I did buy a little tripod, or if you want to buy lights, or if you want to buy, you know, a really fancy camera, I think that's awesome. But I don't think you need it to start, and I think for a long time that kept me from starting it, and I don't want it to stop other people because, and I've seen other people mention this, and I wholeheartedly agree. If you want to do it, just do it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen, you know? I mean, my first video was so grainy because I was filming in like the worst spot ever, but I learned from that. I learned to move in front of a window, you know, film during certain times of day, and I learned from it. So just don't let it stop you. Also, there are still many things that I have to work on. I find myself like Googling or watching a tutorial for things all the time, and I think that's okay. Like, I think it's okay to kind of learn as you go, and you don't have to be a pro from day one. The third thing I learned and that I love is you have to interact, and try and interact with other people on Booktube. I just think it's really important, and that's how you're gonna enjoy it. You know, no one really starts a channel, I don't think, just to talk to a camera. I think the whole idea mostly is to find other people with common interests and that you can talk with. So for me, my favorite part is interacting with other people. And to do that, you have to kind of get the gumption and just make a comment. I feel like sometimes at first especially, it can be a little like nerve-wracking to kind of, comment on someone's video, especially if they're, have a much larger subscriber count or something like that. But at the end of the day, everyone on here, for the most part, is so sweet, and they're so nice, and they're gonna just love the comment, because I personally, I love hearing from everybody, and I just think that's one of the most fun parts. Also, if you want to interact, go find them on another social media. See if they have, a Twitter or an Instagram, and talk with them on there, because you kind of get to see other parts of their life or other things they're doing, and I just think it's really fun. And I think that's the whole point of this kind of online community, is to kind of interact. So, don't feel nervous, just go do it. I promise they're gonna be nice. The fourth tip is to don't look at the numbers. I know that that's a really hard thing, and when you're first starting out, you're kind of always looking at that subscriber count or your views, and obviously when you first start out, they're gonna be really small. And on top of that, I also think you have to be realistic with your goals. I think it's great to set goals. I think we all should set goals. I definitely set goals, but be realistic about your goal setting. Don't think, oh, my goal is going to be to hit, 3,000 in a month. I'm sure it's happened before, but I don't think it happens regularly. So, maybe just remember to keep goals that are attainable. Say I want to hit 100 at some point, then I want to hit 200, and I just think that's really important, and I think it's going to help you enjoy it a lot more if you can kind of try to step away from it and just remember that you started this to interact with people and have a good time, not necessarily to get one more subscriber. And I mean, although I love having more subscribers than I did a year ago, because it's more people to talk to about books, it's more people hopefully getting good recommendations. I think it's not the end all be all, and I think especially for myself and a lot of other people, I think on Booktube, we didn't really get into this to try and make money from it, because you have to have a lot of people to do that. If it's for pleasure and just for fun, you might as well just do your best. Don't look at it every 5 seconds if you can help it, and just try and enjoy yourself. And my last kind of tip is just one I've kind of noticed recently, and that is to film when you're in the mood. So for myself, the reason I don't have a set schedule for my videos, which might annoy some people, but it mostly is because I sometimes am just not in the mood to talk to a camera or to set everything up. And sometimes it's just not gonna happen that day, and that's okay. Because I think if you do it when you're in the mood and you're just I have a lot to say, or I'm really excited to talk about these books, then you're gonna get the video that has all the energy and all the fun. And I just don't force yourself. If you want to take a week or two off, take a week or two off. If you want to only post one video for a while, just post one video for a while. I think I've had to kind of figure out that if I'm really not in the mood for it, just don't do it. It's a hobby at the end of the day. And if it's a hobby, just like any other hobby, if you don't feel like, I don't know, cross stitching, or if you don't feel like whatever other hobby you have, you're not gonna do it. So don't do a video either. And I think that's okay. Kind of my tips and tricks that I've picked up over the past year. I hope that they help someone. I hope that maybe some of that made sense and you're kind of nodding along. I've definitely learned a lot over the past year, and I just absolutely love having this channel and interacting with you guys. So let me know what your piece of advice is, or if there's anything that you've learned over however long you've had your channel, or by watching videos, what kind of figured out that you like. I would love to know, because there's always room to grow. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.